Welcome to Getting the Job, your guide to the hiring process. In this video, you will hear from human resources professionals providing insights into the hiring process with tips on how to secure a job. Joining us is Rhonda Bell of the Washington State Department of Enterprise Services, April Gibson of Puget Sound Orthopedics, Lisa Arbakauskas with REI, and Dennis Loney with Workplace Innovations, LLC. Moderating our discussion is Mike Hudson with the Association of Washington Business Institute.
Where do you folks go to advertise the positions that are available? There are fewer and fewer, as we know, ads in the classified section of the PI or the Olympian or the daily newspaper, but there are a lot of other sources for those types of things. So what's your go-to solution for advertising positions?
For us, really depends on the position and the specialized nature of the position, but for the most part we use Craigslist. We've tried a variety of different ways and methods, career builders, Host Monster, and we have the best success with Craigslist. It's very inexpensive. Because we run perpetual ads for a couple of different positions, it's cost prohibitive to use something like career builders that charges much more than Craigslist does. But if we have a more specialized professional type position like an RN or a physician assistant, we typically go to the trade publication or the trade organization for that particular job specialty and advertise through that. Sometimes we advertise through the schools. We might call the local vocational schools if we're looking for maybe a surgical technologist and not having any luck. We'll look for a student that's close to graduation. But by and large, Craigslist has been our most successful and fiscally responsible way to find jobs, to find job applicants.
Right. Anybody else?
We at the state post our jobs at careers.wa.gov. It's an online recruiting system. It's powered by a company called NeoGov, and NeoGov does support online systems for many different entities within Washington and all across the nation. Cities of Tacoma and Seattle and Olympia use NeoGov, as well as Tacoma Community College, King County. So building your profile, which is kind of like a resume online, you only have to do that once, and then when you apply for jobs at these other entities that use NeoGov, it's there. You do have to apply to the jobs directly, so you want to go in and review what's being recruited for, what's posted, and apply to those jobs.
We do, all of our jobs for all of our locations do get posted out through the corporate website at rei.com, and people can find out. We have some perpetual postings that are up there that indicate they're for future needs in areas that we frequently hire for, but there's also all of the specific postings go out there. From that site, there's a number of places that get a lot of traffic and drive a lot of candidates our way. There's sites like Indeed.com and SimplyHired.com that go out and scrape the job postings off corporate websites all over the place and centralize them into one place. We get a lot of traffic from those sites now, and it's a great place for people to go and find out about jobs without having to go into as many individual company sites. And if we're recruiting for some of our store positions, we often reach out to community groups, but we also, on the corporate side, do a lot of recruiting through LinkedIn. I think if someone's looking for a corporate professional type of job, having a good LinkedIn profile and building out your network of contacts there is a great way to find out about opportunities, but also to be found without having to initiate that on your own.
I think one of the things that people can do that's really beneficial is, I know when I was trying to get my sons off of my payroll and onto their own, that, you know.
Tell me how you did that.
The line I used is,
It's a separate
as long as you're unemployed, your job for the day is finding a job. And you need to put as much energy and time into that as if you were working 8 hours a day. And part of that is make sure that you get out of the house and that you're visiting with people during the course of the day. That there's nothing that really compares to face-to-face visits with people. And, you know, ask people, do you know someone who works here, and offer to have coffee with them or something just to learn about their company. But take the time to do that. And I think, too, the more that you go out and you're meeting people face-to-face, the more that gets rid of some of the jitters you have about interviews and those kinds of things, because you're more comfortable talking about yourself.
So,
and I'm happy to say they're off my payroll now.
Success story. Great. I think the message there is, you know, the old cliche. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, in today's environment, it's not just who you know, but it's who they know and who they know, and on down the line. So you really don't have to be next door neighbors with the president of the company to, you know, have an in with the company. If you know somebody else who works there and can recommend you, that's as good as gold.
I think, as April said before, that companies are really looking for ways to be able to do their recruiting in a really fiscally responsible way, that budgets have been cut. And there's really no better way than getting word out about your jobs and through your existing employees and through some of your social media and things like that, because that's basically free recruiting.
And we have that conversation with employees at all staff meeting that we have. Quarterly, we typically attempt to get all of our employees under one roof. And we encourage them to think about their connections and their family members and their friends and their friends' friends, and whether or not they are teachable. Because, as Lisa said, you can teach a technical skill. You can't teach a soft skill. It's much more difficult to teach someone to be a happy person when they're dealing with other people. They either are or they're not. So we encourage our employees to really take a look at their deep list of connections, not just on the surface, not just their immediate connections. And we have found some of our very best employees that way.
And the other thing about knowing someone in a company is that the more you broaden your network and the more that you get those referrals within a company, I don't know, I'm curious what you have to say, but every company that I've worked with, if it's an employee referral for an application or a resume, that almost guarantees it's going to be looked at. But as a courtesy, as a courtesy to existing employees, that people they refer are always looked at. They're not just thrown in a pile.
Correct.
So
regardless of their experience.
Regardless of experience, right?
Correct. Yes, I would say that's true for us.
Us as well.
It's difficult sometimes to find the right folks for the right job, isn't it?
It is.
Much more difficult than it used to be.
And what do you think is the biggest issue there? Is it skills and job skills or soft skills or?
We have found over the last several years that the majority of it is soft skills. We partnered with one of the reasons that I began serving on the Workforce Development Council was there was a program that they were developing to give us grants for training our current employees on increasing their soft skills. And we're finding that it's very difficult to find someone who has the right resume as far as technical skills, but then also has the ability to interact with people well, show up for work every day on time, stay off their cell phones, engage in what they're being actually paid to do.
Yes.
So it's very difficult to find the whole package employee, the total package. A lot of times you can find the person that has the right technical skills, but not the right soft skills, and vice versa.
difficult. That's very difficult.
Not only showing up to work on time, but actually being at work. And making sure if they're not coming in to notify the workplace that they're not coming in. Those things that you think would be fairly simple to manage are often difficult. A lot of times you can teach the technical aspect. I mean, you do need to meet the essential functions of the job and the requirements, qualifications, but yeah, those soft skills are much harder.
Some areas, some companies have soft skill requirements that are more important than others, and REI customer service has got to be
It is.
right up there
And
at the top.
it's increasing for us in importance relative to product knowledge. I think historically they emphasized finding people that had product knowledge, but we realized you can teach that, and we can teach that and teach that relatively quickly. But finding somebody that's got the right personality to engage with our customers, or even working in one of our office environments that can treat other people with respect and operate under the values that are important to us, is more important, and you can't teach that as much as you can teach the technical aspects of a job.
This video was made possible by funding from the Washington State Department of Social and Health Services, Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. This video has been a production of the Association of Washington Business Institute. For more information, visit our website at www.awbinstitute.org.